Hello my dear students. Today we are going to discuss the topic molecular basis of inheritance, in which we are going to understand few interesting concepts. The important concept is called replication, one of the most important concept which occurs in every cell, called replication. While Crick and Watson proposed double helical model of DNA in the year 1953, they also proposed one scheme of replication. Remember, the replication is nothing but the process in which the DNA content become double, or in other words, it is called duplication of DNA. And this event takes place prior to the cell division. Before cell divides, cell undergo some important stages of cell cycle. In such one of the stage called S phase. During this S phase of cell cycle, the DNA content will get duplicated or double its content. And the process of doubling the DNA is carried out by an event called replication. And it was Crick and Watson in the year 1953, while they proposes double helical model, they also explain about the mechanism of replication, or the scheme of replication which takes place during the cell division. It was observed and it was explained by Crick and Watson that as each and every DNA which is made up of double helical structure, that is two polynucleotide strand, at the time of replication, each of the strand of polynucleotide will separate from one another. As a result, each strand of polynucleotide will act as template strand, and this strand, which is derived from the DNA, acting as a template strand for the synthesis of a new strand by utilizing the free nucleotides present inside the nucleus. Under the influence of various enzymes, it will lead to the formation of one new strand which is going to link with the previous strand. And this strand is called the parental strand or template strand, and newly synthesized strand is called daughter strand. And such type of mechanism where the DNA undergoing replication to form its copy in such a way that one of the parental strand is retained and another new strand is synthesized is called semi-conservative. Semi-conservative replication. The word semi means half. Half of the parental strand is conserved or retained, that acting as a template, and another strand is a newly synthesized strand. So in this case, 50% of the DNA strand, that is polynucleotide chain, is parental DNA, and another 50% is daughter DNA. And such type of mechanism is called semi-conservative method of replication. And this was very clearly explained or proved by number of experiments conducted by the various scientists. One such experiment is Michelson and Stahl experiment. So we shall discuss about that experiments in the next topic called experimental proof for semi-conservative replication. Experiment to prove that the DNA is undergoing semi-conservative replication, in which one strand of polynucleotide in a DNA acting as a template for the synthesis of another strand. As a result, the 50% of the parental DNA is retained and another 50% is newly synthesized DNA, and this was proved by two scientists by an experiment called Michelson and Stahl experiment, commonly called Michelson and Stahl because it was proposed by Matthew Michelson and Franklin Stahl in the year 1958, and these two scientists conducted an experiment by using a bacterium called Escherichia coli, commonly called E. coli, one of the bacterium which is widely used in the field of biological experiments. This bacterium was used as a tool to conduct this experiment, and in this experiment, this bacterium called Escherichia coli, they are grown or cultured on the nutrient medium. The nutrient medium which is provided to the bacterium while it is culturing, it should have some nitrogen and other number of nutrients for the growth of the bacteria. While they are growing the bacteria in the nutrient medium, they are used heavy isotopes of nitrogen, that is N15. Heavy isotopes of nitrogen called N15 has used instead of N14. N14 is lighter or normal nitrogen, whereas the heavy isotope of nitrogen is N15. To use this N15, they utilized ammonium chloride, which is having N15, nitrogen 15, heavy isotopes of nitrogen, and in this nutrient medium, they have grown this Escherichia coli bacterium for several generations. The literature says that they have grown the bacterium for more than 13 to 14 generations. Repeatedly, while they have grown or cultured this bacteria in this heavy nitrogen isotope nutrient medium, all the nitrogen content present in the DNA. Remember, we are discussed in the very first class, DNA is made up of nitrogen bases, pentose sugar and phosphate. So as the nitrogen bases will take up this heavy nitrogen, and the entire DNA molecule present in the Escherichia coli bacterium will become heavy nitrogen DNA. And after the confirmation of heavy nitrogen present in the DNA of the Escherichia coli, in the next set of experiment, they have taken this bacterium and cultured, instead of N15 nitrogen, they have cultured the nutrient medium in N14 medium, that is lighter. While they are grown in N14 nitrogen medium, the newly synthesized strand of polynucleotide is gaining N14, whereas the parental DNA strand was having N15. To identify this, they used density grade centrifugation by using cesium chloride. Density grade centrifugation by using cesium chloride, and they able to identify that at every generation, while DNA is duplicating, 50% will be the parental DNA and another 50% will be the newly formed DNA, which is having N14. Remember, while the Escherichia coli is cultured or grown on the nutrient medium, at every 20 minutes, this bacterial cell will double its population. Every 20 minutes, it will going to produce its progeny. So repeatedly at regular interval of time, at every 20 minutes, they used to collect the bacteria, and by using cesium chloride, centrifugation will be done, and they used to get two different bands. That is, while they centrifuged, they used to get one heavy band N15 and another one light band of DNA called N14. So at regular interval, at every 20 minutes, they go on repeating this centrifugation, and every time they used to get one retaining the strand of parent and another newly synthesized strand. So that we shall discuss in the concept which has been explained now. Well, while Messelson and Stahl conducted an experiment on Escherichia coli and cultured or grown the bacteria in heavy isotopes of nitrogen N15 for several generations, all the content of the DNA become heavy isotope N15. After several generations, the bacterium was grown in a nutrient medium which contained N14, normal 14, for next generation. As they are grown, the bacterium which is having heavy isotopes of nitrogen in their DNA in a fresh medium containing lighter nitrogen N14, at 20 minutes interval of time, the bacterial cell will replicate, or the bacterial cell will produce its progeny. As it will produce new cells, the DNA from that cells will be isolated, and by using cesium chloride density grade centrifugation will be done. While it is observed that the 50% of the DNA which is retaining the parental DNA, which is having N15, and another 50% is having N14 in each of the daughter bacterial cell. So this was observed under centrifugation, showing the two bands. One is lighter band N14 and another heavy band N15 in the form of hybrid condition. That's why this is called as in semi-conservative replication. As I mentioned earlier, semi means half. Half of the parental DNA strand is retained and another half is newly synthesized strand. So in the very first stage, after 20 minutes of growth of the bacterial cell, while the progeny become double, the cells showing 50% of the parental DNA in the form of an N15, another newly synthesized DNA in the form of N14. After 40 minutes, again they are collected the bacterial cell. That means after first set, another 20 minutes, the population of the bacterial cell will get doubled. Whatever the number is found here, from there it will get doubled. At that stage, they again isolated the bacterial cell by using same density grade centrifugation, by using an cesium chloride. They are centrifuged and they are found two bacterial cells with an normal nitrogen. That means one of the parental strand, which is N14 here, this was retained here, and newly synthesized strand, that is also N14. As a result, in this bacterial cell, both the strands are N14. Whereas in another set also they are found similar type, which is having N14 because this strand will be retained, which is N14, and another newly synthesized strand which is also N14, giving two lighter bands in the centrifugation. Whereas the other two strands, in which one of the parental strand of this generation, that is second generation, is having the heavy isotopes of nitrogen N15, which was retained in both the cases, and newly synthesized strand which was N14 in both the cases. As a result, it will form an hybrid DNA in these two cases, whereas these two are remain as an lighter, giving two heavy bands and two lighter bands. This proves that during the replication of DNA, while DNA is getting double its content, it is 50% of the parental DNA will be retained and another 50% of the DNA will be newly synthesized by using free nucleotides present inside the nucleus. Later, Taylor and his colleagues, they conducted an experiment on a plant called Vicia faba. Similarly, the number of experiments has been conducted on plants, animals, including the human beings. These experiments, which have been conducted on plants, animals, proves that similar type of replication takes place. Taylor and his colleague, they conducted an experiment on Vicia faba, one plant commonly called as in broad bean, by using radioactive thymidine. So they are able to prove that during replication, the two strands which will get unwinded, get separated, and one parental strand will be retained and another strand will be synthesized and joined with the parental strand. That gives semi-conservative replication. And also it is very clear that during cell division, during the cell cycle, S phase of cell cycle, commonly called synthesis phase, during that the amount of DNA will get doubled. Duplication takes place. There is a mechanism called replication. So most of the cells, after replicating, it will undergo the divisional stage, like mitotic stage, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. If it fails to divide, the double content of DNA will be retained inside the cell, and that leads to polyploidy. Is nothing but the doubling the amount of DNA content, and the genetic content, if doubles, that condition is called polyploidy, resulting the chromosome number also will get doubled. So that abnormalities or the changes which are going to occur in the chromosome in the form of polyploidy if replication and cell division is not in a synchronized manner. There is a mechanism to show how the replication takes place. So there is another one important concept, the machinery of the replication. This will be repeatedly asking for 5 marks, that we shall discuss in the next concept called machinery of DNA replication. Mechanism or the machinery of DNA replication. Remember, the entire process of replication is under the influence of number of enzymes which is present inside the nucleus, which regulate the process of replication in a very faster rate. The process of replication takes place and the process is very, very accurate. Without error, the process of replication takes place. To make it clear, the accuracy as well as the faster mode of replication, the number of enzymes involved, and almost all these enzymes which are involving in the process of replication is DNA regulated enzyme. In other words, they are called DNA dependent enzymes. The enzymes like DNA polymerase enzyme, which are of 3 different types: DNA polymerase 1, polymerase 2, polymerase 3. Similarly, helicase enzyme, topoisomerase enzyme, gyrase enzyme, all these set of enzymes which are involving in the process of replication, ensuring the complete replication resulting in the formation of the two parental DNA with accurate nitrogen bases exactly similar to that of parental DNA. And this whole mechanism is going to take place in a very rapid manner or very faster manner. As we know, the human beings are having 6.6 into 10 to the power of 9 base pairs. All these base pairs will going to duplicate at the time of replication, that is the content which is going to double. Approximately it will take 38 minutes in a human being to replicate the DNA present in a cell. And at a faster mode, as we know, so many number of nitrogen bases are present, approximately 2000 base pairs will going to replicate in 1 second. I'll repeat, in each second approximately 2000 base pairs will undergo duplicated or replicated. So you can imagine, in 1 second 20,000 base pairs are replicating means so many number of nitrogen bases. It will take around 38 minutes, approximately 38 minutes to replicate the entire DNA present in a human cell. And this is one of the wonderful mechanism takes place in every cell at the time of cell division. So during this replication, the enzymes like helicase, topoisomerase, gyrase and DNA polymerase, they will work in a coordinated manner. Some enzymes unwind the DNA. As we remember, the DNA is double helical and right-handedly twist, it will be unwinded. After unwinding, it will get separate and the two strands will going to get separated from each other, acting as in template. And the enzyme called DNA polymerase involves in a joining of the free nucleotides with the parental DNA, resulting in the formation of a newly synthesized or daughter DNA. And this whole mechanism is going to take place inside the nucleus. As we know, the DNA is a long polymer of two nucleotide chain running in 5' to 3' direction. As I was shown in the previous classes, the double helical structure remembered. So it has been unwinded. As it will be unwinded, the replication process begins at one particular point with the help of certain enzymes. And that particular point where the replication process will start or begin is called origin of replication. As origin of replication takes place, at this stage, the two strands which are held with each other, showing one particular point where the replication will begin. This point is called origin of replication. As a result, the hydrogen bonds found between the nitrogen bases, that is between adenine and thymine 2 hydrogen bonds, between guanine and cytosine 3 hydrogen bonds, these bonds will get dissolved, and as a result it will form a small bubble like structure. So here this will be going to form the bubble like structure, resulting the nitrogen bases gets separated. So here the nitrogen base pairs are remain, and this will form an fork like structure called replication fork, where the two strands of DNA getting separate to form a fork. or unzipping of the DNA. Remember, while it is passed on, the two strands will get separate, just like an zip. See here, the zip which is having single strand, as it will be unzipped, it will result, the two strands will going to form. The unzipping will going to form, or you can make out here, the two strands are connected, unzipping will going to occur, and this unzipping will be done by certain enzymes. This is one of the wonderful mechanism here. Under the influence of the DNA polymerase enzyme, results, it will form an fork called replication fork. It is called replication fork because of the unzipping of the DNA strands. The two strands will get separated or unwinded and separated, resulting it will form the two strands. One that is what we call the replication fork. While the fork is formed under the influence of the enzyme called DNA polymerase enzyme, which are of three different types: DNA polymerase 1, polymerase 2, polymerase 3. All these enzymes involves in a very rapid manner of replication process, and the process of replication will going to takes place in the strands of parental DNA, which is acting as an template strand. Remember, each parental strand is called template strand. On this template strand, the newly synthesized DNA strand will take place, which is running in 5' to 3' direction. Always it will run in 5' to 3' direction. Repeat, during replication process, always the newly synthesized strand running in 5' to 3' direction. Remember, it is one of the complicated event takes place inside the nucleus. During this replication, the DNA polymerase enzyme polymerizes, is nothing but form the strand of nucleotide only on one strand first. In the beginning, it will form one strand of polynucleotide running in 5' to 3' direction towards the replication fork, and this will going to form on a strand which is running in an opposite direction, and such strand is called leading strand. It is called leading strand of DNA, on which the newly synthesized DNA which is running in 5' to 3' direction. Whereas on the other template strand, the DNA polymerization takes place in the form of short fragments, and it is discontinuous synthesis. In the previous strand, it is continuously synthesized. That's why it is called leading strand. Whereas on the opposite strand, the synthesis of DNA which is also running in 5' to 3' direction, but in the form of short fragments, and these fragments are called Okazaki fragments. These Okazaki fragments, which has been forming on one of the strand which is running in an opposite direction, that is 5' to 3' strand of the parental DNA, such strand is called lagging strand. It is called lagging strand. One is the leading strand, another one is called lagging strand. I'll repeat here. While replication takes place, the two parental strands will get separate and each one acting as a template strand. on one of the template strand which is running in 5 to 3 prime direction, on which the newly synthesized strand will going to polymerizes running in 5 to 3 prime direction in opposite direction towards the replication fork, and this is called continuous strand, and such continuous strand is called leading strand. Whereas on the opposite template strand, discontinuous synthesis of DNA fragments takes place, and these fragments are called Okazaki fragments, and these Okazaki fragments will later rejoin with each other with an enzyme called DNA ligase enzyme. Results, it will form a complete strand of DNA. So such strand of template which gives the fragments of DNA called lagging strand. Once the polymerization complete, this strand will run towards the opposite end completely. As a result, this strand will get separate and it forms one DNA. Whereas on the other side, there are a number of fragments will found. These fragments are the small pieces of DNA that will going to join in the enzyme called DNA ligase enzyme, which joins or ligate the fragments of DNA, resulting it will form a complete strand of DNA. At the end of replication, we come across with 2 parental DNA and 2 newly synthesized DNA, and this entire mechanism is carried out in the presence of nucleoside triphosphate. The nucleoside triphosphate acting as a dual nature, it is not only giving the polymerization, it also involves in providing an energy, because this whole process of replication is one of the energy dependent process, and this whole process consumes lots of energy, and that energy is going to be provided by deoxyribonucleoside triose phosphate, and that triose phosphate is giving exactly similar to that of ATPs. It gives energy, and the number of energy molecules is used up for the production of newly strand DNA, and this whole process is asking for 5 marks in the heading the machinery and the enzymes or the mechanism of DNA replication. This is one of the most important diagram you need to explain for the process of or mechanism of replication. So how it will take place, and what are the different stages, and which are the enzymes involved, etc. So you need to explain with the help of diagram one of the important question which is repeatedly asked in the board examinations. So this is called the machinery and the enzymes of replication. Now we shall pass on to another interesting topic called protein synthesis. That is nothing but the DNA regulate the process of metabolic activities inside the cell to form various types of protein which is needed for our metabolism, and whole process of protein synthesis which is responsible for metabolic activities is synthesized under the influence of DNA by 2 important events called transcription and translation. Both events completes protein synthesis. Very interesting phenomenon. What is transcription? How this transcription takes place? And what are the different enzymes involved during this transcription? And how the information passes from DNA to the other form of a nucleic acid called RNA during the process of transcription? And how that information passes to the cytoplasm for the process of protein synthesis, we shall discuss in the next class.